Genesis chapter 9 and verse 6. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of the Lord made he men. And so the two-thirds right people, right? The guys that gave up Yahweh, the scribe and the Pharisees, the wicked high priest, and the multitude that followed them. In these last days, the Lord is gonna kill them. And what he's doing is the ones that they killed, they're actually crying out. You see what I'm saying? Because if let's say if somebody hits you, right, you're getting beat up. You know what I'm saying? Or like Esau makes these different movies where you get killed, and then the person's ghost comes back to life, and then the thing about it is they'll go to a detective. They will help the detective find the murderer. So the ones that have been slain in the time of all these different generations, they're back here today, and guess what? The detective, they will help the detective find the murderer. So the ones that have been slain in the time of all these different generations, they're back here today, and guess what? They're crying. They're not crying with crocodile tears when it's fake. They're crying with those real tears. They're crying out. They're mad. They're angry because they see that the wicked is not being punished yet. And the Lord that sees all this, he's avenging them. Not only is he putting the spirit in their mouth to speak in a certain way, he's also bringing out the words which is condemning these dudes. It's bringing back to remembrance. The Lord said he's going to put the elect back in remembrance. Well, guess what? He's putting these guys back in remembrance too. What they did. It's like guys are having visions. Guys are going crazy. In the movie Passion of the Christ, when Judas betrayed Yahweh, he was seeing all types of demons. He was getting plagued in his mind. So the Lord is doing the marvelous work, brothers. He's doing the marvelous work. Luke 18 and verse 8, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the right, Salakia. He's going to find a whole bunch of fakes and phonies. But the true ones in the spirit is only going to be a few. And that's why it's very important to cry out. It's very important to cry out, man. The Lord said, the name of the Lord should be praised day and night.
A few hours ago this morning, Ashkelon was hit by some 200 rockets in a span of 1 hour. So what we are seeing here is really massive clusters of rockets. It's not just a lone stray rocket here and there. These are coming fast and furious. And again, the goal is to overwhelm Israel's missile.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Dina Kalmeta here. And for today's news, I do have some breaking headlines in regards to Israel. More than 700 rockets have been fired at Israel since Monday. A bus was struck by a Gaza rocket south of Tel Aviv. A woman was killed and a person was critically wounded after terrorists in the Gaza Strip fired a barrage of rockets in the direction of Tel Aviv late Tuesday night, setting off sirens throughout the center of the country. The pipeline was set alight Tuesday by a rocket landing nearby, and the fire has been burning since this afternoon, but has grown Tuesday evening. Earlier on Tuesday, 2 women were killed in Ashkelon as barrages of rockets struck the southern city, and the IDF continued to target Hamas and terrorist sites throughout the Gaza Strip. Now, out of those 700 rockets that have been fired at Israel from Gaza since Monday, including 150 that fell inside the Strip, and another 200 that were intercepted by the Iron Dome, according to the Army. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced that the intensity and rate of attacks will increase following a visit to the IDF's Southern Command headquarters. He said, "We are in the midst of a campaign." Since yesterday, the IDF has been attacking hundreds of Hamas and Islamic Jihad sites in Gaza. We have neutralized commanders. We have hit many of their quality targets. Hamas will be struck in ways that he did not expect. It goes on further to report that over 100 Israelis have been injured, and dozens of buildings were hit by rockets, according to Israeli police. One of the buildings was a school. Now, Israel has been taking out some of the commanders, including the commander of Hamas's anti-tank guided missile unit, who has carried out a number of attacks against Israel in the past. Now, it goes on further to report that the U.S. is deeply concerned about the ongoing escalation of violence in Israel and Gaza, and has called on sides to exercise restraint in order to bring a return to calm. Now, this is coming from Ned Price, the State Department spokesman. He said that Israel has the right to defend itself and to respond to rocket attacks. The Palestinian people also have the right to safety and security, just as those in Israel. He said, we call on all sides to exercise restraint and calm, adding that the U.S. will continue to engage on the matter. Now, the AP is reporting that the barrage of rockets from the Gaza Strip and airstrikes into the territory continued almost non-stop throughout the day, in what appeared to be some of the most intense fighting between Israel and Hamas since the 2014 war. The fire was so relentless that the Israel's Iron Dome rocket defense system seemed to be overwhelmed. Columns of smoke rose from many places in Gaza. By late Tuesday, the violence extended, as I reported, to Tel Aviv, which came under fire from another barrage of rockets launched from the Gaza Strip. Now, Hamas has said he launched a total of 130 rockets, its most intense strike so far, in response to Israel's destruction of a high-rise building in Gaza earlier in the evening. Now, since sundown on Monday, 28 Palestinians, including 10 children and a woman, were killed in Gaza, mostly by airstrikes, according to health officials. The Israeli military said at least 16 of the dead were militants. Now it goes on finally to report that Egyptian officials said that they were trying to broker a ceasefire, but the cycle of violence was gaining momentum. Even before the 2 Israeli deaths, the Israeli military said it was sending troop reinforcements to the Gaza border, and the defense minister ordered the mobilization of 5,000 reserve soldiers. The UN has demanded a halt to the spiraling violence. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken spoke to the Israeli foreign minister to condemn the Hamas attacks and reiterate the important message of de-escalation. And according to an Israeli official, Israel will not negotiate a ceasefire before Hamas pays a price for its attacks, also stating that Hamas fired a bunch of rockets, and then of course they want a ceasefire. That's perfect for them. They don't have to pay the price for firing on Jerusalem and then 500 rockets. There will be a ceasefire when we're ready for it. So I will let you know when a ceasefire does happen, but it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon, according to these reports. But I'll keep you guys updated. I just wanted to bring you this quick breaking news report. Please do leave your comments below this video.
We're speaking of the principle of self-defense.
I'm asking if you think that the principle of self-defense applies to the retaliatory, the airstrikes that they're conducting in response.
Matt, this is a very fluid situation. I would hesitate to comment on operations beyond, the rocket fire that is clearly targeting innocent civilians in Israel. So I would hesitate to speak to specific operations that have just occurred. But the broader principle of self-defense is something we stand by on behalf of Israel and every other country.
Do you think that an Israeli military response to the rockets coming in, a military response to the rockets coming in is covered by this broader rubric of self-defense, right?
Self-defense often does authorize the use of force.
Thank you, Matt. I want to ask you about East Jerusalem, but let's talk about what you said about the principle of self-defense. Does that in any way apply to the Palestinians? Do they have a right to self-defense? Do Palestinians have a right to self-defense?
In broadly speaking, Saeed, we believe in the concept of self-defense. We believe it applies to any state. I don't think that I certainly wouldn't want my words to be construed as.
I understand. I want to ask you on Israel. I don't want to harp on this either, but the Israelis killed 13 people just now, including maybe 5 or 6 children. Do you condemn that? Do you condemn the killing of children?
Saeed,
I'm asking, do you condemn the killing of Palestinian children?
Obviously, and these reports are just emerging, and I understand, I was just speaking to the team, I understand we don't have independent confirmation of facts on the ground yet, so I'm very hesitant to get into reports that are just emerging. Obviously, the deaths of civilians, be they Israeli or Palestinians, are something we would take very seriously.
Okay.
You're going to know as soon as I read what your answer was that there's a big problem with it. You said, well, not a problem, it just doesn't answer the question. We believe that it, meaning the right to self-defense, applies to any state. Well, you see the problem, right? Yes?
Do you want to?
Do you regard Palestine as a state?
I wasn't
Do you
referring.
think that, do you
But
you don't
but
in the context of the ICC and the UN? So are you
and
saying that you do not, if it applies to any state, are you saying that Palestinians don't have a right to self-defense?
I was making a broader point, not attached to Israel or the Palestinians in that case.
So they do have a right to self-defense.
Matt, I'm not
I don't know. It's not that
I'm not in a
difficult a
position to debate the legalities
right.
from up here. What our message is one of de-escalation.
All right.
Allahu Akbar. Hasbi Allah.
Shalom, all praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Kakadash. That belongs to elders and apostles, citation, election. The true, real house of David that the Lord is resurrecting, rebuilding, and strengthening in the midst of these birth pains. For Lord to deliver his children, man, his elect. And it's going to be the ones that no one expected. You know, not the Palestinians, not the Chinese, not the Russians, not even certain men that guys think that are men of the Lord in this truth. It's not even going to be them that have the crown. Because what they've gotten is their consolation already. They've done what they've done and been reprobate and partial in this truth and receiving a corruptible crown, excuse me. But the ones that have the incorruptible crown, the crown that's going to be given to them by Yahweh Shai, is going to be the ones that no one expected or looked for. And when you see the current state of Babylon the Great, the whore, that's a certain state that a lot of you guys are in this truth, confused, not having the answer, being hypocrites, not being not having a just balance and judgment. You know, like that reporter talking about the whole situation in Palestine, the Israelis. And a lot of you guys are just like that in this truth. You know, the whole gas is a gas shortage because of the oil pipeline. And that's really symbolic and spiritual because, you know, the prophecy of Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. And they've been protesting that oil pipeline that was going through their lands. But you Northern Kingdom, all right, this isn't really even your land. This land was Anathema Maranatha. This place was set up to be destroyed. And we're going back home. The Lord's going to set us back in our land. The Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Native Americans, Latinos, and the Israelite foreigners, the Gentiles scattered abroad. Greetings, you see? And, you know, it's mad heavy. Like the brother sent the other video, which I showed a couple videos there. You know, in 1 hour, 200 rockets hit Israel or something like that. But that's symbolic of how much missiles, nuclear bombs are going to hit America. It says that in Revelation. I heard the number of them, 200,000. And, you know, it ain't... We're not in a time of peace. And a lot of you guys, you teach this word with all kind of peace and smooth and peace, shalom. But there's no peace, man. We're at war. We're at war with the heathens. We're at war with the world. And also 2/3 of our people inside of this truth feign themselves just men, and outside this truth we're at war with as well. War with the house of Saul, with the enemies of the cross. Those that are guilty of the blood of Yahweh Shai and the prophets. You see? And you murderers and all you wicked, you're being chased out of the earth. It's not just Esau and Amalek. It's also you getting chased out. Proverbs 28:17. A man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. And it's heavy because you already have them basically showing an example what's about to happen. You have all them Amalekites basically going into underground bunkers. Says, let no man stay him. Whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved. Not just talking, but actually walking and following the ways of the Lord, doing what he commanded you to do. But he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. And we're in that time, man. The judgment coming speedily. And it's going to happen quick. Lord said our redemption is closer than what we even believe. Lord said, when you hear these things, arise out of thy sleep. And I'm tired. I'm worn out. But there's so much going on. And it's so exciting that, I just put this video together, man, because this is my chief joy is Jerusalem. Is the Lord, our people, the elect, my brothers, right? And really showing you, brothers, that, man, we don't got too much longer here, man, for suffering wrongfully. Lord's about to vindicate us. Job 18 in verse 14. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. It shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation, right? So that land, it doesn't belong to them Jewish people. You see, it really belongs to the Lord. He gave it for inheritance to what? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we are those children. We are those offspring. You see? His root shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. And you have the Palestinians. It's a civil war out there, man. And it's only just gonna get worse and worse. They're detaining Israelis. They're wrapping them up in duct tape. They're like that video. There was freaking ganging up on an Amalekite, beating him up. And they're saying that they actually took in a city. They took in the city of Lod, whatever that Lod. They took in that city. So this is war, man. And they're moving tanks in position, and it's getting heavy, man. And this is what's going to drive Russia and America, man. And the whole thing with that gas, you have certain video surfacing and photo surfacing of people in America. They're carnal as hell, stocking up on gas, just getting as much gas as they possibly can. This might just well be what sparks up the end. This is gonna be a hot summer. It's gonna be very interesting how this all goes down. You see, Job 18 and 18. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. So the wicked, right? Esau, the heathens, those that don't belong, that ain't right in this truth, you guys are being chased out of the world. You see, you're being driven from light into darkness. You see, Sirach 25 and 7, there be 9 things will I judge in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th will I utter my tongue, a man that joyeth in his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. You see, and we're not dead, we are alive, and the dead cannot praise the Lord, but what? The living. You see, so the saints shall what? Be joyful upon their beds. They're gonna praise the Lord. And see, it's heavy because a lot of you guys, you say, oh, you guys got the too deep demon and you guys are doing too much and all this bullshit, all these excuses. But see, you're just envious and jealous because you're not you're not exceeding. You're not going above and beyond for the Lord. You're only going a certain bound which you can't pass, because our cup is running over. Your cup is running out. You're those foolish virgins, man. You see? And the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. So when the lights go off and all social media and all this bull crap comes to an end and a halt, you're going to be casted out of darkness, man. Acts 13 and 39. And by him all that believe are justified from all things, from which they could not be justified by the law of Moses. And the Pharisees and the chief priests and elders of the time of Yahushua, which are back here now, in their law in the last days, doing the same thing. They said that they were disciples of Moses. But see, Moses, he was in his sepulcher, See, our people, they worship the dead. Beware, therefore, lest that come upon you, which is spoken of in the prophets. Behold, ye despisers, and wonder, and perish. For I work a work in your days, a work which ye shall no wise believe, though a man declare it unto you, right? Because the man that's declaring it unto you, the few men that's left, you look at them as crazy. They're overzealous, they're not in my camp, all kind of excuses. See, a sinful man will not be reproved, but he will find an excuse according to his own will. A lot of you guys are in your own will. You see? Acts 2:12. And they were all amazed and were in doubt, saying one to another, what meaneth this? Others mocked and said, these men are full of new wine. Right, so we're full of new wine, the new song, the new covenant, New Testament. You see, we're full of Yahushua in the spirit. And that's why men, they mock us. They doubt. They say, what does this mean? They're astonished at the doctrine that we teach, because we don't teach as Pharisees and scribes. And it's heavy too, because I'm gonna make a point, going into what the brother said in his video. But see, a lot of guys, what they don't understand is that if you are a partaker of Yahushua's blood and his flesh, you're gonna be just as Yahushua. He's gonna be increasing in you. He's gonna his light, his wisdom and power, supernatural power is gonna be rising in you. You see, unto that perfect day. Luke 5 and 26, and this is when Yahushua had healed the man that had palsy, and he rose up and walked after the Lord forgave him of his sins. This is verse 26. And they were all amazed, and they glorified God, and were filled with fear, saying, we have seen strange things today. So it's heavy because the Lord talks about the strangeness of our salvation. Don't think it a strange thing your fire child should try you. You see? So others that see you being healed and you healing others through the word and through the Spirit of the Lord, they're going to be filled with fear. You see? Because they're unbelieving. They don't believe. And that's why in certain places and times, Yahushua couldn't work so much miracles. Because why? Because of the people's unbelief. You see? Let's get that word for strange. We have seen strange things today. And look what we're seeing today. This is all going into the strangest of our salvation, man. This is why the Lord is doing all of these things, man. It's immaculate. That word means paradoxus, which means unexpected, uncommon, incredible, and wonderful. You see? Paradox. Let's get that word for paradox. A seemingly absurd or self-contradictory statement or proposition that, when investigated or explained, may prove to be well-founded or true. You see? So the elect are walking paradoxes, man. The hated of men. Everyone thinks they're demons and they're evil, but really they are a part of the truth, and they have Yahushua in them. They're all about Yahushua. It's just that what's coming to find out is a lot of guys, you're not of the word. You're not of the Lord. Luke 9 and 42. And as he was yet coming, the devil threw him down and tear him, and Yahushua rebuked the unclean spirit. Now, like let's say a car is about to run into you, or he's about to run over someone and kill them, or something's bad about to happen. How do you think you're gonna blow that horn? You're gonna give it a little boop, or you're gonna give it a beep? You see, and that's how you're supposed to sound this trumpet, this alarm. But a lot of guys are not preparing our people for battle, for war. Rather, you're those dumb dogs in Isaiah 58 that love to slumber, love to sleep. And what are you doing when you're sleeping? You're in la-la land, man. You're not dealing with reality, man. See, a lot of guys giving an uncertain trumpet, and you got a lot of our people in uncertainty, man. They don't know what's right and what's wrong. They're not able to discern what's holy and what's unholy, what's acceptable and what's not, what's profane and what's holy. You see? And Yahushua rebuked the unclean spirit and healed the child, you see, and delivered him again to his father. And they were all amazed at the mighty power of God. But while they wondered, everyone, at the things which Yahushua did, he said unto his disciples, let these sayings sink down into your ears. Woo! For the Son of Man shall be delivered into the hands of men. But they understood not this saying, and it was hid from them that they perceived it not. Right? They weren't able to grasp it at that time. They weren't able to see through the future what he meant at that time. And they feared to ask him of that saying. You see, so the thing is with the Yahushua and the men of the Lord in these last times that the things we're saying is it's hidden from the eyes of men. We say things that's going to happen in the future that hasn't really happened yet. You know, and that really messes a lot of people up, even a lot of guys in this truth. See, they claim to be about the truth, but you're really not, man. See, Isaiah 43 and 19, Isaiah 43 and 19. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. It shall ye not know it. I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert, right? And what is that way in the wilderness? And what is that river in the desert? It's the Lord and his men in the gospel, man. That's the way. That's the only way. And if you ain't in that way, the straight gate, you're going to be destroyed alongside of this world, man. Ezekiel 7:25, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. So everyone trying to get everyone to come together, and they're trying to cease fire. We're in a time of the fire ain't going to stop, man. It's just going to keep on going and going and going until all the wicked's consumed, the third part of men. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and counsel from the ancients. So this is literally what's coming to pass right now. With guys that are highly exalted, they receive the consolation. They wanted the praise of men rather than praises of God. Well, guess what? Lord gave it to that. The Lord gave him that. Here's your praise of men. Praise men until you die, man. You see? The king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and according to the deserts will I judge them, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. So you're gonna know. See, the Lord doesn't just do things, just do it, and then no one knows what's really going on. The Lord does, once the Lord judges you and does things, he makes sure that you have in the back of your mind that he knows, and you know why it's happening to you. You see? People ain't stupid, man. We're in the information age. We're in the time of wisdom and knowledge shall be increased. You see? And that's why the Pharisees and scribes were so wicked, man. See? The Lord said they surpass the deeds of the wicked. They surpass the Amalekites. You know? Because with Amalek, they'll say, oh yeah, I'm a Jew. Then they'll show you that devil smile at the end of it, man. Because they know they're not, man. They know they're Amalek. You see? Hosea 10 and 8, the high places also of Avon, the son of Israel, shall be destroyed. The thorn and the thistle shall come up on their altars, and they shall say to the mountains, cover us, and to the hills, fall on us. So all the wicked of our people gonna die by the sword, and even Esau, and they're gonna all be in the spirit of like, yo, cover us, let's take cover. See, the elect, they're not gonna have to take cover and go underground in like a goddamn mole rat. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be in the fire, praising the Lord, not being hurt of the fire, not being hurt of the second death, man. See how powerful this is, man? You see? O Israel, thou hast sinned from the days of Gibeah. There they stood. The battle in Gibeah against the children of iniquity did not overtake them. You see? And the Lord, he's about to show us some marvelous things, man, which he already is. And it's just going to keep on increasing, man. Those that have eyes and ears to hear and see. John 1 and 50, Yahushua answered and said unto him, because I said unto thee, I saw thee under the fig tree. Believest thou? Right? Why? Because Yahushua saw Nathanael under that fig tree, which that fig tree is symbolic of the trees that didn't have the true fruit meat for repentance. The false anointed, the false elders, you see, the false ones. And the Lord came and took them up from out of that tree, those cursed trees and fruitless trees, having not the fruits of the Spirit. You see, I saw thee under the fig tree. Believest thou? Thou shalt see greater things than these. You see. You know, Sirach 43 and 32, there are yet hid greater things than these be, for we have seen but a few of his works. And the Lord's just getting warmed up. It says, for the Lord hath made all things, and to the godly hath he given wisdom. And this is what's going to keep the godly to remain godly and keep them stable from falling, man, and being condemned, you know. And everything's being open right now, man. Revelation 20 and 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, right? Those that are in high places, those that are in low places, stand before God, and the books were open. See, everything's being opened up. And through the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, everything's being established. And another book was open, which is a book of life, which is a book being written right now for those that fear the Lord and spake continually to one another, man. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. So you're going to be judged not by respected person who likes you, who you know, but actually what is written, man. You see? Zechariah chapter 9 and 15. The Lord of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with slingstones, and they shall drink and make a noise as through wine. See, as Yahushai. The Lord shall roar as a lion, and they shall be filled like bowls and as the corners of the altar. Just like the Lord said, he will no longer hold his people, but now he shall roar and cry like a travailing woman. And that travailing woman is symbolic of the elect, the wife, the bride that's crying out, that doesn't want to be polluted and defiled with these goddamn whoremongers and all these adulteresses and freaks, man, and abominations. Like that the brother went into the story of Susanna, man, those 2 elders that want to defile and pollute the innocent. So you got a lot of wolves. What they want to do, they see the beauty and the innocency, the integrity and the elect, and they want to pollute them and defile them and deceive them, man. But you're not going to deceive the elect. You can have everybody and all your thousands and thousands of subscribers and all this, that, and the third, but you're not going to have the elect. The elect actually have the power over you, you serpents and vipers, man. And then they shall be filled like bowls and as the corners of the altar, right? Just as they have shy, the cornerstone of the truth, the foundation. You see, Luke 22 and 20. Because I'm gonna make a point, because the brother was going into it, but you see, if you don't have the blood of the lamb, you're not gonna get through these times, man. And that's the only way you're gonna be able to come this evil, man, and keep your wits. Luke 22 and 17. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, "Take this and divide it among yourselves." Right, don't divide it amongst those that are without, but only those that are within. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come. And he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave unto them, saying, "This is my body which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me." See, a lot of guys, what they've done is that they've gotten so puffed up with knowledge and men praising them that they've forgotten Yahushai, man. And that's why the Lord, the word, is actually leaving them. That's why they're not really teaching the word like that. They're just teaching things of the world, but using this word as a cloak of their maliciousness. It says, likewise also the cup after supper, saying, "This cup is the New Testament in my blood," right? See, in his life, which is shed for you. But behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is with me on the table. And truly the Son of Man goeth as it was determined. But woe unto that man by whom he is betrayed. You see, so woe unto you Pharisees and scribes and all you elders and wicked men, you wolves in sheep's clothing. Because what you do it quickly. Like the Lord said to Satan when he entered into Judas. What you do it quickly. Hurry up. Don't waste no time. You see? 2 Corinthians 3 and 6. Let me start verse 5. 2 Corinthians 3 and 5. It says, not that verse 3. It says, for as much as ye are manifestly declared to be the epistle of Yahushua ministered by us, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of a living God, not in the tables of stone, but in the fleshly tables of the heart. So Lord, he's writing in us, and we're speaking his words. And such trust have we through Yahushua to Godward, not that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, Because this is not of ourselves, man. This is of the Lord. Like Jeremiah said, I was gonna keep quiet, but it was like a fire shut up in my bones. He couldn't stay. It says, but our sufficiency is of power, who also hath made us able ministers of the New Testament, right? Of the Lord's blood, of his sacrifice. And Lord said, which sacrifices the Lord's well pleased? Which sacrifice? The sacrifices of your mouth, saying what the Lord told you to say, and doing what he told you to do. It says, not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter killeth, but the Spirit giveth life. You see? And let's get that word for letter and spirit. Right, basically means a written acknowledgement of a debt, which none of us could have paid that. But see, Yahushua paid that price for us, and he just basically vouched for the elect primarily. You see, and the Spirit is an influence, right? So it's basically faith. You having faith that what you're using your life to, and you're sacrificing in this world, and you're using your life now to serve the Lord and please the Lord, that he's gonna be well pleased with that, and he's gonna accept that. You see, as a what's the word? As not payback, but basically that favor being what's that word, man? That favor, I'll come to it. Return the favor, there it is. 1 Corinthians 11:27. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. So a lot of guys are guilty of Yahushai. So this is what's proven, like a lot of guys being unworthy. You see a lot of guys teaching unworthily and all this and the third, that they're really showing themselves who they truly are. They're stubble, you see. They're guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. They was amongst the crowd and the many that had been called, saying, crucify him. We want a murderer. We want someone that hates the righteous. We want someone that justifies the wicked for reward and condemns the righteous. That's what our people want, and that's what they've gotten. You see, that's why I got all these elders almost every single video talking about Korah. They love them some Korah. Our people, they love the famous, man. You see, but they hate the Lord, and that's a mystery. That's a big secret that a lot of guys act like it's not true, but that's very true. I'm gonna say that again. A lot of our people, they love the famous, they admire them, they praise them, they worship them. Like fucking people in the world with celebrities when they have fucking rock concerts, right? Oh my gosh, it's Usher. Oh my god, and taking clothes off, getting naked for me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys are naked, man. Like it says in Revelation, you think you're rich, you think you have everything, but really in reality, you're fucking naked, man. You don't have the Lord. You're walking around here with your shame not covered, man. Because you ain't covered by the word Yahushai. You just lying to yourself and everybody else around you. You're going to get a lot yourself and a lot get you're destroyed, man. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. So it's very important to be able to discern and judge and know who's of the Lord, man, who's not. You see? And a lot of guys, they don't know that. That's why they offend the Lord's little ones. They say, oh man, forget this guy. And then they cut off, they'll cut off a certain body, but not knowing that that's a piece of the Lord. So you've cut off a piece of the Lord, man. You see? For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. You see? Sleep, man. And this is not, I'm going to say this again, this is not a time to be sleeping, man. For now is our redemption nearer than what we even believe. So the Lord said, awake out of sleep. You sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. You see? Romans 13:11. And that knowing the time, and a wise man's going to discern and understand and know what time he's in. And judgment, what kind of judgment's happening. And he's going to speak the judgment into existence. Where's judgment beginning at first? In the Lord's house, man. In Israel. Literally, figuratively, spiritually, it's happening in Israel. In this truth, it's happening, man. The Lord said, if you will not repent, he's going to what? He's going to cast you out of his mouth. So a lot of guys don't have the word of the Lord. They don't have the mouth of the Lord, man. They don't have the spirit. They're just left with all these things that are on the outside that don't really even matter or are irrelevant. Or it's not going to get you salvation. Incense, stones, a necklace, that ain't going to get you salvation. You know in certain you know you've seen a chariot right in your face, that's not going to get you saved. Basketball players and celebrities and politicians and Navy SEALs, they see chariots, man. That's not for the deliverance, you see? And this is the deeper things of the spirit, man, which guys, they did not want, our people to go. Because what happens when you go deep? You come to find what? You find the rubies and the gold in what? In the deeps, in the depths. You see, you got to get deep, under a lot of pressure. That's where diamonds are made. But see, if you're not of that material of the Lord, then what's going to happen to you when you have to go through that pressure? You're going to be broken. You see? And that knowing the time that now is high time to wake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. You see? So where it's close. Even at the doors. You see? Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood defileth the land. So see the blood, right? The bloodshed and murder of the innocent blood has defiled the land and defiled our people. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the Lord, he has a great sacrifice and a destruction, and bloodshed is going to come to all the wicked and murderers in this truth and all these Edomites and heathens, man. And then the land's going to be cleansed and come the rest. Because the Lord said in the prophecy that Israel shall be at peace forever. No one's neighbor shall teach each other war. So we know that we're in the war to end all wars, Armageddon, Yahushua, right before the Lord sets his kingdom up on earth. And everyone's joining their side, man, in a geopolitical stage and also on a spiritual stage. Are you gonna choose this day serving the Lord, or are you gonna choose this day serving man and praising man and putting man in camp above the Lord? And sadly, a lot of guys is going what? Choose the worse. They gonna call the Lord a liar and every man true. Guys, it's fucking backwards, man. Like I did that video, that chick, her life got ruined because she took some goddamn vaccination. And the only way she could walk normal and talk normal if she was fucking walking backwards. But as soon as she tried to walk forward, she transformed into a freaking handicap, doesn't know how to talk, can't even walk straight, it's tough, man. That's some heavy judgment, man. You see? And the Lord's about to dish out some heavy judgments right now, man. You see? And some heavy punishments. You see? So you got Australia joining military drills with France, Japan, and U.S. as tension with China intensifies. So it's just one thing after the other. And all you guys are on the other side, hey, man, just stay over there. Keep being filthy still. You see, there's a reason why, me and the other few brothers, we don't know a lot of people. Because, Lord, he's keeping us separate and sanctified and holy from a lot of people. And a lot of you guys in this truth, that ain't right. Why do you think the Lord said, don't touch anything of Korah and Dathan and Abiram's, lest you be consumed in their iniquity? Because they was wicked as hell, man. Just like the chief priests, Pharisees, the elders that crucified and came up against the Lord and the disciples. Same thing back here today. And it's only for those that have ears to hear and eyes to see. If you don't have that, if you don't have that, then guess what? This ain't for you. You see, we don't teach this to try to save people that are not going to be saved. We're not in this truth to be saved, to try to save people that is going to be destroyed with this world. We ain't Captain Save-A-Ho, okay? 1 Corinthians 11 and 25. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is a New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death till he comes. Lord, guys, you're not showing the Lord's death. The only thing you're showing is your life. It's all about you. You're living in pleasure. You see? But the Lord said he set forth the apostles last as it were appointed to what? Death. Because we die daily for the Lord. You see? Ezekiel 13 and 19. And will ye pollute me among my people for handfuls of barley and for pieces of bread? Right, and a man will transgress for a piece of bread, just for a little piece of Esau's a weak-ass dollar. It says to slay the souls that should not die and to save the souls alive that should not live. By your lying to my people that hear your lies. Let me read that again. And will ye pollute me among my people for handfuls of barley and for pieces of bread, to slay the souls that should not die, right, the righteous, and to save the souls alive that should not live, by your lying to my people that hear your lies. And the Lord said to in judging righteously, right? Let's get this real quick. Deuteronomy 25 and 1 is good too, but I want to get the one in Kings with Solomon. First Kings 8. Oh, this could be good. 1 Samuel's 8 and 1. Then Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes. See, and that's why we don't really our voice isn't really to the tail, because the tail, they just follow whatever, we really talk. Our message is really towards the heads and the ones on top. That's what our message of the Lord is towards. Because by them either taking heed or not, it's going to trickle down to the rest of the sheep, you see. And then it's going to be known who are sheep and goats, you see. Then Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes, the chief of the fathers of the children of Israel, under King Solomon in Jerusalem, that they might bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David, which is in Zion. And let me jump to the point. Yeah, this is a very long chapter. I'm trying to find. All right. 1 Kings 8 and verse 55. It says, and he stood in, verse 66. Blessed be the Lord that hath given rest unto his people Israel, according to all that he promised. And Lord, he said in was Isaiah 13 or Isaiah 14, how the Lord, he's going to give us rest from our harsh captivity. It says, according to all that he promised, there hath not failed one word of all his good promise, which he promised by the hand of Moses his servant. The Lord our God be with us as he was with our fathers. Let him not leave us nor forsake us, that he may incline our hearts unto him to walk in all his ways and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, which he commanded our fathers. And let these my words wherewith I have made supplication before the Lord be nigh unto the Lord our God day and night, that he may maintain the cause of his servant and the cause of his people Israel at all times, as the matter shall require, that all the people of the earth may know that the Lord is power, and that there is none else. Let your heart therefore be perfect. So the flesh ain't gonna be perfect. There's gonna be all kind of diseases and sicknesses and weaknesses in the flesh. The flesh is weak. See, but you're in the mind, in the spirit, you'll be perfect. You'll be sincere, without fault, the Lamb, in your inmost seat of thought. Let your heart be therefore be perfect with the Lord our God, to walk in his statutes, keep his commandments, as at this day. You know, and let me just get this precept here. Slack here. And I'm gonna close out here. 2 Chronicles 6. So the Lord said, with such sacrifices, he's well pleased with the sacrifices of your mouth, and not being fake with what you're saying, or lying, or trying to use subterfuge or guile. Just speaking the truth and speaking it sincerely and just being real, being authentic. 2 Chronicles 6 and 22. If a man sin against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to make him swear, and the oath come before thine altar in this house, then hear thou from heaven, and do, and judge thy servants, by requiting the wicked, by recompensing his way upon his own head, and by justifying the righteous, by giving him according to his righteousness. See, so that's what the righteous judge is going to do, and he's going to not justify the wicked, because the Lord, he doesn't take rewards or gifts. You see, the Lord loves judgment, man, and his men love it as well. And let me get out of here, man. All right, Psalm 37:28. The Lord loveth judgment, and forsaketh not his saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. And that's literally what we're seeing. You know, it's like we're at the end of the race, or like a beginning of something special. And you know, we'll have like them owners will have those big those big scissors, and they'll cut the ribbon, and everyone will clap. That's the times we're in, man, because when the wicked perish, there's a great cry, a great shout. And when the righteous are going to be in authority, everyone's going to rejoice. Everyone's going to be happy. Proverbs 11:10. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. You see. So we're in a time of a lot of noise, man. It says, but the blessing of the upright, by the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. You see, so let Amalek be a good example of the wicked. Look at all the shit that be coming out their mouth, man. You see, but all you wicked anti-Yahushais, the Lord's gonna make an example out of you of what not to be, of what not to follow. You see. When some Lord makes a speedy riddance of the wicked, all praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. blah blah blah. A shalom.